Good day, everyone. Good day, sir. By the way, I am Ronaldine Bibis Asis, and for today, I am going to discuss about the story of Florante and Laura. But before that, let us know first who is the author or the writer of that incredible and amazing story and why that story made of the author itself. So I guess you had an idea who is the author of it? Yes, it's Francisco Baltazar. So here are some of the background of Francisco Baltazar. Francisco Baltazar Francisco, born on April 2, 1788 in Barrio Panginay, the town of Biga. He was the youngest of four children, so his siblings named Felipe, Concha, and Nicolasa. His parents were a blacksmith, Juan Baltazar and Juana de la Cruz. He enrolled at the Colegio de San Jose, where he graduated with degrees in Crown Law, Spanish Latin, Physics, Christian Doctrine, Humanities, and Philosophy. So those are the background of Francisco Baltazar or Balagtas. Now, let us know also why Francisco made that masterpiece or what was the reason behind that story. This literary masterpiece was written during Francisco Baltazar's imprisonment in Pandacan, Manila. He used the pseudonym Francisco Balagtas that time. Florante and Laura was sad to be the outcome of Balagtas' heartbroken situation after losing the woman that he loved the most, whom he referred to as Celia. Balagtas wholeheartedly dedicated this timeless book to Celia, Maria Asuncion Rivera or Mar, who was later married to Balagtas' rival, Mariano Capiol, a rich and powerful man. It was Capiol who made false charges against Balagtas and used the power of money to put him in jail. So that was the reason why that story made. So before we proceed to the story itself, a description lang about the story of Florante at Laura. So, Dr. Jose Rizal, the Philippine national hero, considers Florante at Laura to be the best awit form of Filipino poetry in his time. The characters and the setting used were of foreign origin, but the nature, gesture, and costume are adoptedly Filipino, and the events in the story are similar to the real incidents during that period. So, Florante and Laura was considered an awit or isang in English. It has 399 stanzas and it's written in poetic form that has 4 lines per stanza and 12 syllables per line, and each stanza is full of figures of speech. So let's proceed to the characters. So first we have Florante, Duke of Albania, and the main protagonist of the novel. So when we say protagonist, diba, it is the main character of the story. So next, Laura, daughter of King Linsay of Albania, Count Adolfo, rival of Florante and the antagonist of the novel. Antagonist, it is the anti or the ang kontrabida sa story. Aladdin, or Aladdin, son of Sultan Ali Adab of Persia. Florida, Aladdin's fiancé. Minandro, friend and confidant of Florante. Antinor, professor of Florante, Minandro, and Adolfo in Athens. General Osmalik, a general of Persia. Emir, one of the commanding officers who sacked Albania together with Aladdin during the ongoing campaign of Florante and Minandro in Crotone. Duke Briseyo, father of Florante and a nobleman of Albania. Princess Floresca, mother of Florante and the princess of Crotone. King Linseo, king of Albania and the father of Lara. Sultan Ali Adab, sultan of Persia and the father of Aladdin. So let's start for the story itself. Exposition, or the beginning of the story. So, in a faraway vast land, there is a mystical forest outside the kingdom of Albania. Florante, son of Duke Briseyo and Princess Floresca, was knotted tightly in a giant old tree in the middle of the dark forest. So, the story begins with a description of a dark, dangerous, deserted forest in the kingdom of Albania that is inhabited by serpents, basilisks, hyenas, and tigers. And also, It has scary woods and uncanny animals. When we say uncanny, mga mysterious like those animals I mentioned earlier. Okay. The man was tied to a tree and was barely alive. He is Florante, the son of Duke Burseo and Princess Floresca. He has blonde hair, fair smooth skin, and a face and body that is comparable to that of Narcissus and Adonis. Florante, while tied on a tree, questions the heavens for the suffering of the people of Albania. Ah, the man tells the heavens that he can take whatever trial or challenge that may come his way, as long as Laura will always remember him. Aside from all that is happening to Albania, he takes refuge in the memories of the times he shared with Laura. He mentions that he would be pleased to see Laura crying over his dead body if Laura would betray him. Sorry. With this, he imagines Laura in the arms of Count Adolfo. This thought brings him to tears and devastation, which made him tired and caused him to pass out. So next, rising action. While tied to a tree, Florante was approached by two lingering lions, but the lions did not seem to attack. Thinking that the man might already be dead, realizing the approach of death, the man says his farewell to Albania, the land he wished to serve since he was a child, and to Laura, whom he will forever love. Okay, upon hearing the man's cries, Aladdin set off to find the man. His timing was impeccable because the lions were about to attack Florante. With a swift motion of his weapon, the Muslim soldier killed the two lions. With his courage and precision in combat, he was compared to Mars, the god of war. After rescuing Florante, Aladdin frees him and lays him down when he finally wakes up. Florante is surprised to see an enemy taking care of him. Aladdin told him that he wishes the man no harm and that the command of heaven to help is what's important. Due to all that they have been through recently, Aladdin and Florante decide to become silent. When nightfall comes, Aladdin carried Florante and rests on a flat rock. The Muslim soldier feeds Florante and has him sleep on his lap. He watches over Florante because he is still delirious and he is devastated every time the latter wakes up. In the morning, Florante thanks Aladdin for what he has done for him. The soldier asked Florante why he was so devastated, and the latter willingly narrated his story. So the man tells the Muslim soldier that his name is Florante. Florante tells him that he came from Albania and that he is the son of Duke Burseo, second in command of the kingdom, and Princess Floresca of nearby kingdom of Kutuna. Florante spoke about his happy childhood. When he was a child, he loved playing outdoors and hunting. Duke Burseo taught him how to stand alone by sending him to Athens to study under Antenor. Adolfo, a boy from Albania and the son of Duke Salino, becomes, by the way guys, Athens, it is a school ha. So, going back, in Athens, he met there si Adolfo. Adolfo is a boy from Albania and the son of Duke Silino becomes his classmate. Adolfo is 2 years older than him and is admired by everyone in school for his wisdom and kindness. Due to his intelligence, Florante was able to learn the lessons about philosophy, astrology, and mathematics in no time at all, which astonished his teachers. He even surpassed Adolfo in all aspects and became known all across Athens. So, because sa kalagot ni Adolfo kay Florante, kay mas di boom or ni shine naman sa Florante than Adolfo, during a play performed by the students, Adolfo attempted to kill Florante but did not succeed due to his classmates Menandro's interference. So si Menandro is a good friend of Florante in Athens. So after 2 months in staying in Athens, Florante received a letter from his father bringing bad news and summoning him to come home. It was difficult for Florante to say his goodbyes to his classmate and his mentor Antinor, but wala siya choice. Before leaving, Antinor advised Florante not to be too trusting because there are there are enemies all around. Yes, even in a real life. So Florante went home with his friend Minandro. Upon arriving at Albania, Florante cried when he saw his father. After he calmed down, Duke Bisaya told Florante about the death of Princess Floresca, which is his father of Florante. So next, the emissary of Crotona came to Albania with a letter asking for help in saving Crotona from the Persian invaders headed by General Osmalik. Florante said that he and his father went to King Lansayo to discuss how they could help Crotona. King Lansayo appointed Florante to lead the army that will help save Crotona. So General Osmalik and Florante finally meet, and they battled for 5 hours until Florante was able to defeat the general. Florante was able to save Crotona from the hands of the enemy with the help of Minandro and his troops. The people rejoiced their victory, especially when they learned that Florante is the king's grandson. But Florante and the king did not rejoice with them, for they remembered Princess Floresca and mourned for her death. 5 months had passed when Florante decided to return to Albania to be with Laura again. So next. Florante became wary when he saw the Muslim flag swaying over Albania. Florante hid in the outskirts at the foot of the mountain to observe what is happening. He saw a woman tied and blindfolded who is about to be beheaded. So, Florante remembered Laura and hastily went to rescue the woman. He fought the Muslims and rescued the woman who happened to be Laura herself. Laura told Florante about Albania had been conquered. They went back and redeemed country from the invaders. Florante freed the captives including King Lansayo, Doc Brisayo, and Count Adolfo. O diba? He chose to save gihapon Adolfo even though Adolfo attempt nga pat yun siya atong naa pa sila sa Athens. Itong nag-eskwela pa sila. Okay, the king honored Florante for his bravery and Florante won Laura's affection. With the victory of Florante, Adolfo's hatred and envy depended. He planned to take revenge against Florante. So, nasukot na po si Adolfo. So, after, Florante faced a battle na naman against Turkish army headed by General Miramolin. The Turkish invaders did not succeed because Florante defeated him. After this, Florante successfully won many battles which earned him the respect of 13 kings. So let's go in climax. One day, while Florante was in the middle of a war, he received a letter ordering him to return immediately to Albania. So he left the war under the command of Minandro. So iyang bilin ang tungkulin as mamuno kang Minandro from that battle and set off to return to Albania. Upon arriving, he was surprised to be welcomed by 20,000 soldiers who abducted him. Here, he learned that Adolfo had ordered for his father, Doc Brisayo and King Lansayo, to be beheaded. He also learned that Laura was engaged to Count Adolfo. Florante was imprisoned for 18 days, then was transferred to the forest where he was tied to an acacia tree. He had been in the forest for 2 days when the Muslim soldier found and rescued him. So that was the reason why Florante went on that forest, because ipalabay siya sa mga ni Adolfo as well as sa nag-decide ang soldiers ni Adolfo and him nga ipalabay si um, Florante. So, mo itong rason nga naabot dito si Florante. So, after Florante narrated his story, the Muslim or si Aladdin, the Persian man, soldier introduces himself. So, his name as Aladdin. So, he is son of Sultan Ali Adab of Persia. Aladdin begins to narrate his story. So, next. He says that his father is the root of all his suffering. So, yes. His father became his rival for his love, Florida. In order to succeed, Sultan Ali Adab plotted a scheme to behead Aladdin by framing him as the cause of the downfall of the Persian invaders that resulted to Florante's victory in Albania. So, yes. Ang reason sige, I will explain it. So, the nights before Aladdin's execution, Sultan Ali Adab forgave Aladdin on the condition that he would flee Persia and never return. Aladdin agreed but could not accept the idea of Florida in the arms of another man. Since then, Aladdin has been a wanderer of the forest for 6 years. He suddenly stops his story when they heard voices in the forest. So, in the middle of their conversation between Florante and Aladdin, they heard two familiar voices on that forest. So next, following action. The two men heard voices of women. One of the women narrated the story she heard about the danger that her lover was in. She begged the Sultan not to push through with his beheading in exchange for her agreement to marry him. The Sultan agreed and her lover was set free, living without saying goodbye. So kay Florida ni na kwento kay Laura. Kay lagi mapugos siya pakasal kay Sultan Ali Adab. One night, while everyone was busy with the wedding preparations, which is the wedding of Florida and Sultan Ali Adab, which is the father of Aladdin. So while they are busy, the woman who happens to be Florida disguised herself as a soldier and escaped. She wandered the forest hoping to find her love. Here, in the forest is where the two women met when Florida saved Laura, who was about to be assaulted by a man. This man is Adolfo. They stopped talking when they hear 4 footsteps approaching and were surprised to see Florante and Aladdin. So yes, in the middle of kanang conversation po ni Laura and Farida sila na-heard ng mga stepping. So na-surprise sila because ang katod ay si Florante and Aladdin. Then after Florida, it's Laura's turn to also narrate her story. It began when Florante left to battle the Persian invaders. Adolfo ordered that the king and his loyal servants be beheaded. Adolfo took over the throne and forced Laura to marry him. It took 5 months for him to court Laura, but she did not waver in her decision not to marry him. After Florante was sent to die in the forest, Menandro and his men returned to Albania and overthrew Adolfo. Adolfo would not accept defeat. Instead, he took Laura and his men to the forest. Here, Adolfo saw no escape and decided to rape Laura right there, yes, in the forest, in the particular forest. Upon hearing a woman cry for help, which is si Laura, Florida came to the rescue and killed Adolfo with an arrow. O, diba? Tanging si Florida lang ang makapatay kang Adolfo. So, her solution are dynamo. Okay, the two couples returned to Albania where they are warmly welcomed. Florida and Aladdin agreed to be baptized as Christians. So, their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Menandro and his troops. So, success ang laban ni Menandro against sa kingdom of Albania, which is ang gipamunuan presently ni Adolfo. Upon seeing Florante, he rejoices to see his friend. Both couples are wed, and Florante and Lara rule over Albania with justice, peace, and harmony. When Sultan Ali Adab dies, Aladdin and Freda return to Persia and they rule over the people happily. So Florante and Laura went back in that kingdom of Albania, and they became as a king and queen, and they got their marriage there, and also si Aladdin and Ferdasap, and they baptized as Christian now. So I think that was all, guys. Thank you for listening. I hope you understood what this Florante and Laura talks about. And actually, by the way, guys, I provide a summary about this story. I provide it there at the end of my PowerPoint presentation. So thank you guys for listening.